What's up guys, I hope that you're having a great day, but I'm gonna try to make it a tiny little bit better with this pretty cool NU battle against my buddy Mizticall. The team I'm using today started off as hyper offensive black 2 and white 2 RU team with Ember, Electivire, Dradigon and Medicham, but that would be way too overpowered for X and Y NU metagame, so I've had to replace most of them with more NU-ish stuff. While doing that, I have also decided to make more balanced team, which is why I'm using the duo of physically defensive Skorupi and specially defensive Duskull as well as Assault vs Wigglytuff. It is worth pointing out that this wasn't just the first battle I've had with this team, it was the first X and Y NU battle I've ever had in general. Yes, this is in fact X and Y battle, it was only recorded in auras, because as it turns out, battles between X and Y and auras can be saved only on the former, so for that reason we're gonna be watching this battle from Mike's perspective. Alright, enough talking, let's get into it. I lead off with Skorupi, expecting him to lead off with Simisage to counter Kabutops, which is the only possible stealth rocker on my team. As usual, I don't get this quite right though, as he leads off with Mesprit instead, and that makes me think, cool, he is probably gonna set up his rocks and then U-turn out as most of lead Mesprits tend to do, so I switch to Wigglytuff to weaken whatever he goes to. However, this Mesprit clearly doesn't feel like playing games with me and instead of setting up Stealth Rock, goes straight for a Zen Headbutt. So here comes my Wigglytuff, and there it goes. That's what I get for trying too hard. I will be better off just leading with my Kabutops as I initially planned. So I go to it now, figuring that he is choiced in some way and set up my Stealth Rock as he switches to Seismitoad. Then I bring my Skullcandy to scout whether he has something to threaten Kabutops, but he just sets up rocks of his own, follows it up with Toxic, and misses, while I hit the Will-O-Wisp. Not bad at all. I could have easily taken advantage of that and switch to Skorupi, but I don't wanna get popped with a Hydro Pump, so instead I just go for a Nightshade and give him another chance at Toxicking me, which he doesn't waste. Now I figured that if he had anything to touch me with, he would have gone for it already, so I decide to make a next level prediction, go for another Will-O-Wisp and cripple his Electabuzz on the switch. But that's not all my friends. Ready for another veteran play by Wojton? Let's switch to Evire and see what happens. Got him. Something dies. See you later, Toad. And that's all of the big boy plays for today. Now back to regular schedule, clicking buttons and not trying too hard. Knowing that my Electivire is outsped by everything on Mike's team except Hariyama, I just decide to stay in and do some solid damage with a Wild Charge. In exchange I take a knockoff, which does a bad ton. I forgot how overpowered this move got in 6th gen, so the amount I've taken from it makes me think that he is Choice Bandit. That is why I decide just to stay in and go for another Wild Charge to get rid of this threat, but he proves not to be choiced and finishes me off with a Bullet Punch before I do that. Now I don't wanna go to Vivillon with Stealth Rocks up on my side, so instead I bring my Skorupi, figuring that I would rather let him get rid of my Eviolite. Unlike me however, he's been paying attention on the team preview and doesn't go for a knockoff, knowing that my Skorupi doesn't in fact carry any item, because let's not forget, shall we, that it is me who made this team, so naturally there has to be something wrong with it. Instead, he switches back to Electabuzz as I set up a layer of Toxic Spikes, but as long as my Duskull is around, this thing is not a problem. Thunderbolt is not enough to take me out from this range, and I do just that with a Nightshade before going down as well to Toxic damage. Then I go back to Skorupi, realizing that after a Stealth Rock damage it's not gonna be taking many more hits, so I'm better off using it to scout his team. He goes to Simisage, probably to prevent my Kabutops from rapid spinning, and takes me out of a hidden power. So now I decide to play stupid and pretend that I don't know that he's naturally faster than my Vivillon and that it is HP Rock that he just went for, and he falls for it, stays in and gets demolished by a Hurricane, just like I planned. That in turn means that now I finally get to spin away those entry hazards, so I switch straight to my Kabutops against his Mesprit and thanks to defensive investment and impish nature, take a Zen Headbutt really well. So realizing that he is not in a good position in that matchup, he goes straight to his Soak, and right here is the key turn of the game. The reason why I stayed in right there is because I'm expecting him to go for a Stone Edge, because back in Black 2 and White 2, every Soak was carrying it. However, he told me after the battle that this is no longer the case and this sock wasn't carrying it, so he just demolished me with a close combat and seals the game, because although Vivillon easily revenge kills him with a Hurricane, his Hariyama is able to take it out from this range with a Fake Out and Bullet Punch combo and give him a 2-0 victory. So you might be wondering, how was that the game changing turn? Well, instead of me doing the regular outro, let's think what would happen if I play that exact turn differently. First of all, if I had known that Stone Edge is no longer a common move on Soak moveset, I would have probably switched to Vivillon, which had over 60% chance of leaving Bandit close combat. Let's assume that he would get average damage roll and I would survive it. Knowing that Mesprit gets 2-hit KO'd by Hurricane after Stealth Rocks, he would be forced to stay in and defodder his Soak. From there, Kabutops takes care of his remaining pokes. Thanks to some attack investment, Waterfall is a guaranteed KO on his Hariyama from the range it's at, Stone Edge has over 75% of 2-hit KOing his Mesprit after Stealth Rocks, while Zen Headbutt is only a 3-hit KO on my Kabutops at 70% of health. Hell, I could have even risked it and switched back to Kabutops against his Hariyama on a predicted Fake Out and save Vivillon in case his Mesprit gets a crit or finishes me with Zen Headbutt. What I'm saying is, if I would have switched to Vivillon against his Soak and survive a close combat, I would most likely end up taking the game. Before you ask, yes, I know the exact movesets of Mizticall, Soak, Hariyama and Mesprit, and as you have seen, I've took my time while editing this battle and backed up everything I said with damage calcs. Conclusion, once again, my prediction based on Black 2 and White 2 metagame is a game changing factor. That's not gonna change, guys, I'm not gonna stop thinking 5th gen, you will see why in my upcoming battle. I hope you guys enjoyed this battle and found the post-battle analysis at least somewhat interesting, in which case, hit that like button, but more importantly, leave a comment. Any comment. If you have nothing to say, just say that in the comment. I'm curious how many of you has borne with me up to this point, and based on the comments, I will know. Anyways, that is it for now. I wish you all Happy New Year and I see you all in 2015. Peace.